You're upset. Maybe you're sitting alone with your head in your hands. Maybe the tears came without warning. Or maybe they've been building for days and something finally broke. You haven't said a word out loud. You haven't reached for your phone. You haven't done anything visible to signal that something is wrong. And still, before you've even had time to process what you're feeling, you hear the sound of paws moving across the floor. He's there, pressing against your leg, resting his head on your knee, watching you with an expression that doesn't look like nothing. Most people say he just knows. He senses it. And they leave it there, as if that's enough of an explanation. But he just knows is not an explanation. It's a placeholder we reach for when we don't want to look any closer. And if you look closer, what's actually happening is far more interesting and far more meaningful than most dog owners ever stop to consider. What your dog does when you cry is not a coincidence. It's not random. It's not simply about wanting attention or following a habit. It is one of the most deliberate, layered, and revealing things your dog is capable of. And once you understand the full picture, you will never look at those moments the same way again. 1. They are reading your face, and your face is saying a lot. The first thing most people underestimate is how closely your dog watches your face every single day. Not glancing at it, watching it, studying it the way you might study a weather forecast that actually matters. Research has confirmed that dogs are capable of distinguishing between human facial expressions: happy, angry, fearful, sad. They are not just responding to your voice or your movements. They are reading the muscles of your face, the tension around your eyes, the position of your brows, the shape of your mouth. They do this because thousands of years of living alongside humans created a species that is hardwired to monitor the faces of the people they live with. Your face is one of the most important sources of information in your dog's entire world. When you're crying, your face changes dramatically. The muscles around your eyes contract. Your brow pulls inward. Your skin flushes. Your jaw tightens or trembles. Your eyes are wet in a way they never are during ordinary moments. And even if you're turned away from him, even if you're pressing your face into your hands trying not to make a sound, the change is already happening, and your dog's brain is already registering it. What makes this more significant is that he has a reference point. He knows what your face looks like when everything is fine. He has watched you across thousands of ordinary days, eating, working, resting, laughing, distracted, tired. He has built an internal model of your normal expressions, and the face you're making right now is nothing like any of them. It falls outside the pattern in a specific, consistent way that he has learned over time to associate with something important shifting in his environment. This is not intuition. It's pattern recognition built through years of paying attention to you. 2. They are listening to your voice, even when you're barely making a sound. Your dog is also monitoring your voice constantly and not just for commands. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, your voice changes in ways you probably don't notice yourself. It gets quieter, slower. It might crack or catch mid-breath. Your sentences become shorter, or you stop speaking altogether in a way that feels heavier than ordinary silence. You might sigh more deeply than usual, or the silence between you and the room changes texture entirely. Research has shown that dogs respond to emotional tone in human speech even without seeing the speaker's face. The voice alone, its frequency, its rhythm, its pauses, its breaks, contains enough information for them to distinguish between emotional states. They are not listening to your words. They are listening to what is underneath the words. Your dog knows the sound of your ordinary voice. He knows your excited voice, your tired voice, your focused voice. And what he's hearing right now, that quieter, slower, thinner version of you, does not match any of the sounds that have ever meant everything is okay. So his brain flags it. Something has shifted in the sound of the person who matters most to him, and he moves toward you. 3. They might literally be smelling your emotional state. This is the layer almost nobody thinks about. When you are stressed or emotionally distressed, your body chemistry changes. Hormones like cortisol shift what your body produces, including the compounds in your sweat, in the air you exhale, in the subtle chemical signature that makes you smell like you. These changes are completely invisible and imperceptible to another human standing right next to you. But to your dog, They are information. Dogs have a sense of smell that is anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. They detect trace amounts of chemical compounds at concentrations our instruments struggle to measure. They are trained to detect cancer in tissue samples, predict epileptic seizures before they happen, identify specific people in disaster zones. If they can do all of that, detecting the biochemical signature of emotional distress is not a stretch. It is practically routine. So when you're crying, your dog may be doing something more than reading your face and listening to your voice. He may be smelling the change in you, the specific shift in your chemical signature that tells him, without any other cue, that the person he loves is not in their usual state. He doesn't have a word for it, but his nose has an answer. And that answer is pulling him in your direction. Subscribe if this is already changing how you understand your dog, because the next part is where everything gets personal. 4. The specific things they do and what each one actually means. Once your dog has picked up on what's happening through his eyes, his ears, and his nose, the response comes. And not every dog responds the same way, which is exactly why understanding each behavior separately matters. Some dogs press their body against yours. They push their shoulder into your leg or climb up and curl their weight against your side, or position themselves so you can feel the heat and pressure of them even through your clothes. This is not accidental. Physical contact is how dogs comfort one another. When dogs in a group feel stressed, they sleep pressed together. When a puppy is frightened, it seeks out the warmth and weight of another body. When your dog does this with you, he is offering the form of comfort that he instinctively knows works, the kind that works for him. He is doing for you what he would want done for himself. Some dogs bring a toy. It can seem almost absurd. You're falling apart, and he arrives with a tennis ball, tail moving, expression hopeful. But from inside his world, that toy is one of his most reliable tools. It is the object that almost always makes good things happen between the two of you. Play, movement, laughter, interaction. He is not misreading the situation. He is reaching into the only toolkit he has and pulling out the item that most consistently helps. It is a genuine, sincere attempt to change the atmosphere. Whether you take the toy or not is beside the point. The gesture itself is the entire message. Some dogs lick your hands, your wrists, your face. Licking is a deeply social behavior in dogs. It is how they bond with each other, calm each other, and maintain closeness within a group. When one dog gently licks another's face, it is an affiliative signal. I am not a threat. I want to be near you. I am here. When he licks you, the impulse is the same. There may be a simple sensory draw toward the salt in your tears, but whatever the mix, the direction is always the same, toward you. He is reaching out in the only physical language his species has. And some dogs do nothing visible at all. They simply stay. They position themselves within your line of sight, settle down quietly, and don't move. No toys, no pressing, no licking, just presence. For many people, especially in those specific moments, that is enough. The fact that he chose to be there, near you, watching over you, when he could have gone anywhere else in the house, carries a message that needs no translation. 5. They have learned you, specifically personally, over years. Here is something worth sitting with. Your dog has been observing you every day, often for the majority of the day, for the entire time you have lived together. He has watched you eat, sleep, work, get dressed, laugh at something on your phone, argue quietly, stare into space. He has noticed which sounds usually come before you leave, which ones mean a walk is coming, which ones mean the evening is about to settle into something quiet. He has also noticed, with the same precision, what you look like when you're not okay. And more importantly, he has noticed what happens when he comes to you in those moments. Every time he approached while you were upset and you let him stay, touched him, spoke softly, or simply didn't push him away, his brain stored that information. This is what I do when my person is like this. This is what works. This is the sequence. He has built a behavioral response around your emotional states, calibrated to you specifically over months and years of paying attention without either of you consciously teaching it. That is not just instinct, that is relationship, built through accumulation, through repetition, through the long and patient act of learning one specific human. 6. It's not a coincidence. It's attachment. There's a reason scientists have spent time comparing the bond between dogs and their owners to the bond between young children and their primary caregivers. Not because the comparison is sentimental, but because the psychological structure is genuinely similar. Securely attached dogs use their owner as a safe base, the presence that regulates them, the anchor that makes the rest of the world feel navigable. You, for your dog, are that anchor. You are the most important social figure in his life. His well-being is connected to your presence, your availability, your emotional state. Not loosely connected, deeply, fundamentally connected. So when you cry, when the anchor starts showing signs of distress, your dog is not just detecting a change in his environment. He is detecting a change in the thing that matters most to him. And because he loves you in the way his species loves, completely, practically, without hesitation, he does the only thing he knows how to do. He comes to you, not because he was trained to, not because he's expecting something in return. Because you are the center of his world, and the center of his world is telling him that something is wrong. What to do with this knowledge? Understanding what is actually happening in those moments changes the nature of the moments themselves. He is not just a warm body in the room. He is an animal who detected that something was wrong with you. Through your face, your voice, your scent, your body language, and made an active choice to move toward you instead of away. He chose presence over distance. He chose connection over comfort. You do not need to perform for him. You don't need to pull yourself together or explain yourself or protect him from what you're feeling. He already knows something is wrong. He processed it before you even acknowledged it yourself. He came anyway. He's staying anyway. The one thing worth doing in those moments is simply letting him be there. Not sending him away, not pushing him off the couch, not feeling like you need to shield him from your emotions. He can handle it. More than that. He arrived prepared for it. His entire response system is already calibrated to exactly this. Let him press against you. Let him drop the toy in your lap. Let him lick your hand. Let him stay. He is not just keeping you company, he is saying something that he has no other way to say. He is saying, you are the most important thing in my world. I know you're not okay, and I am not going anywhere. That is not a coincidence. That is a bond that has been building quietly through every single ordinary day you have ever spent together. Subscribe if you want to keep understanding what your dog is really telling you. Most of the time, they are saying far more than we ever realize.